Every academic discipline always have this, why do I need this topic? For English classes, that topic is literary analysis. Hi everyone, good day. I am Kissy Kuisille Saren, a third-year Bachelor of Secondary Education major in English. And in this video, we are going to explore more about the literary analysis, including its styles or some purpose, meaning, and devices, so on and so forth. Let's learn together, and there's more fun in literature. It's very easy to dismiss the importance of literary analysis if you think you will never use it again outside of high school. But assuming such a thing is faulty at best. What is a literary analysis? It is the cornerstone of every pre-service language teachers. It is just an analysis about finding what really is the message of the author, but an evaluation of reading the poem between the lines. Just like the time. Every second counts, word by word and phrase by phrase. Every literary pieces must really go through this, not only for understanding it, but also it helps to encourage everybody to embrace about how exquisitely beautiful literature is. Analyzing a literary piece trains the brain to be very witty and sensitive, and that's because of how it requires greater focus and effort in critically thinking side by side. It is an argument about the literary pieces that expresses the author's personal perspective, interpretation, judgment, or critical evaluation of the work. And of course, analysis in literary involves critically reading and annotating a text and reflecting on how authors used literary elements to recreate the meaning. So, what is the difference between a literary analysis paper and a research paper? Okay, so a literary analysis paper attempts to present an idea about a text through careful examination of the text components, incorporating the writer's insights. A literary analysis research paper, on the other hand, incorporates outside research or sources other than the primary text. So what is the purpose of the literary analysis? First, it encourages critical thinking, while in a literature class students, they may be asked to analyze a specific piece of literature commonly, or to look for specific elements, connections within a piece of literature. Doing such establishes a framework for critical thinking outside of literature. Critical thinking is very important because it encourages students to connect ideas, examine for inconsistencies in reasoning, solve problems, and reflect own beliefs. Particularly in today's culture, in the information age, all of these qualities are integral outside of high school, whether a student attends college or not, whether a student becomes an English major or not. Literary analysis demands the students strengthen their critical thinking muscles. literary analysis encourages students to branch beyond own experiences and beliefs. And in doing so, it allows students to build empathy. Empathy is the ability to consider someone else's feelings and thoughts in a certain situation. As you can imagine, empathy is very important in all relationships, job settings, and beyond. So talking about the style being used in a literary analysis, in composition, analysis is a form of expository writing in which the writer separates a subject into its elements or parts. When applied to a literary work, such as poems, short stories, or essays, literary analysis involves a careful examination and evaluation of details in the text, such as in a critical essay. So, talking about the organization of ideas in a literary analysis, it evaluates an entire aspect of a work in literature, requiring an access to plots, character, traits, events, and the overall message conveyed by the author. In this case, a literary analysis will have a clearer structure in a flow of ideas as it closely examines sections of writings to discover their significance and requires an introduction in which it must include, of course, the thesis statement and a summary of course, the paper structure. A typical structure for an introduction is to begin with a general statement about the text and the author itself, using this to lead into the thesis statement. And of course, thesis statement is a roadmap for the paper. In other words, it tells the reader what to expect from the rest of the paper. Next is the body. This is where you will lead the reader through your ideas, elaborating arguments and evidences found in the thesis statement. The body is always divided into paragraphs. And the third one, we have the conclusion. Of course, a conclusion does not introduce new ideas. Instead, it should clarify the intent and the importance of paper. Conclusion means the end. It's also the wrapped up what you have been discussing along the paper. And talking about devices, the most common devices being used or involved in our literary analysis are the literary devices. We have some simile, metaphor, imagery, and symbolism. They are found in every literary pieces. They are most commonly found in novels where writers need to use some flashbacks, foreshadowing, or figurative languages to keep the reader always interested in the story or the paper itself. So example, the concert was so crowded, it felt like 1,000,000 people were there. A metaphor makes the comparison directly substituting one thing for. Next, we have the word choice. Writing is a series of choices. As you work on a paper, on any paper, you choose your topic, your approach, your sources, and your thesis. When it's time to write, you have to choose the words you will going to use to express your ideas and decide how you will arrange those words into sentences and paragraphs. So example, I sprayed the ants in their personal places. So we are going to revise that one into I sprayed the ants in their hiding places. Reason for change. The first sentence has a double meaning. The second sentence conveys the intended meaning and is completely clear. So in conclusion, the literary analysis demonstrates why the author used specific ideas, word choices, or writing structures to convey his or her message. It also encourages critical thinking and encourages students to branch beyond own experiences and beliefs. And in doing this, it allows students to build empathy.